Paranoid as hell
I
driving
would
down the
rather
road.
tell you why people get upset at it and hope that you understand, rather than just yell at you and stuff like that. Because he seemed like he was okay, and then he was on your side. So I figured, well, now's my chance. I can educate.
We don't know each other, by the way. If I were you, I'd be wondering.
I didn't know you. I just saw you recording. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not the only one recording
nuts, man.
I would definitely
I
rather.
can't believe that.
I would rather because like I said, like if you're in a different situation, think about it. Like if you're a victim of a crime, I'm having to interview you. I'm trying to get information. There's a camera in your face from someone you don't know, and legally, one of your rights as a victim is to not have your information passed on as a victim. So even in police reports, if someone requests a police report, it gets removed before someone can request it. But we still have to have that for investigation. So if someone's got a recording in your face, that hinders you from being able to do all of your rights as a victim.
Yeah, I'm fairly familiar with the public records law. Have you heard of a guy named Joel Chandler?
I have not.
Fogwatch.org was his website. I think he just has a Facebook page now, Florida Open Government Watch. What this cat used to do is walk into the police department, and if this is before some laws changed, there was a book, like a log book, he'd say, let me see that, please. And the lady'd say no, and he'd sue him, and he'd win. And now he's a consultant teaching, and I think he taught in Largo, as a matter of fact, how to avoid getting sued for public records violations. He's a freaking nut.
There's a lot of things that have changed in public records laws because of that, though.
Joel Chandler does?
He works with the Carrolls.
You sure about that?
Yeah, my dad gets contact from him for Florida, or Orange County all the time.
That's crazy.
And the Carrolls actually...
different world, man.
Carrolls
Everybody's got a camera going everywhere now.
The Carrolls actually helped write the Constitution and signed it, too. So the family goes back like 200 plus years, and my dad's like, yeah, I'm getting calls from this dude asking about public records in my county.
Joel Chandler.
He says that he runs from Florida Open Government Watch Crew.
That's him. That's
him.
Cool,
Dad. Now, give me that 337 acres of land.
Thank you. I mean, I was shaking when I was recording you because I want to get hits on YouTube, but I don't want to get beat down for it, and some cops will do that.
Melandro, I'm not going to lie.
I don't know about here, but...
Melandro, he does get violent when he's on camera.
I've not seen that, man. I've dealt with him a lot.
When I was over on Largo, when I was over on
I've had to see
Missouri and Rosary, he came up with a couple homeless people. I put on my phone and started recording. He said, turn that off now. I'm going to rip it out of your hand. I said, no, you can't constitutionally rip it out of my hand, or can you tell me to turn it off?
Are you guys familiar with the case
If it's an active investigation?
No, he was just going up there.
And there's a possibility that you are on live. He can remove your camera.
Huh.
He was actually up there. He was actually up there to ask some homeless people that are sitting around. They wanted resources. They all told him no 10 times. And finally, he called for a supervisor and was planning on taking 2 of them to jail.
So a lot of the times, resources will be offered I'm not saying that didn't happen or making any excuses. A lot of the times, though, resources will be offered instead of enforcement. Like, we already have something that we need to enforce, but hey, wouldn't it be better if you took resources? Wouldn't it be better if you went to a hospital or a treatment center instead of jail for a marchman? Stuff like that. So a lot of the times there's that aspect where it's like, okay, listen, please take these resources because I don't want to have to give enforcement. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what's happening. I don't know what was happening in that, but that is stuff that I do is I'll ask you 10 or 12 times before I'm like, all right, well, I guess there's some bracelets I got you.
Are you guys familiar with the case out of Tarpon Springs where the kid was videoing the cops and they took his camera and broke it and he sued and won? And that, I think, is what kind of precipitated, like was a precursor to the law that said you can record a public employee in the execution of their duties.
Yeah.
You familiar with that case?
That was already around for a while.
Okay.
You're allowed to record police. A lot of it's for those kinds of reasons. However, like I said, it's not whether it's illegal or not. It can be rude. It can be really hindering for people who don't want their information out there. Like if this guy wanted help and you were recording him and he's like, well, now I don't really want to say
You got a tough job, man. I got to tell you.
It's hard to find a fine balance. You know what I mean?
If I were a cop, I wouldn't want somebody in my face with a camera all the time. And it happens like all the time.
According to what my dad explained to me about the job of the cop, during times of war, you're law enforcement. As is defined in the Declaration, during times of war, you're law enforcement. That means you enforce law during wartime, when the country is actively labeled as war. And then there are times of peace where we're not in active war. You're a peacekeeper.
Okay, so that's not necessarily true.
Interesting constitutional stuff, it sounds like.
That would be accurate in martial law, but we don't have martial law.
Well, he said that the way that it's worded, because you have a contract as a member of the executive branch,
Well, actually, also an agent of the state, though.
but you still respond to the governor, and then the governor responds to the president, and then you
Absolutely.
respond to him. A subordinate branch of the executive branch. Under the contract, it states that only during time of war shall law be enforced to the T. During times of peace, offers and other options must be available.
Well, even the way that you said it, there would be different ways to interpret that, because you could interpret that law to the T as in, like, nobody gets off. Everybody, whereas I am able to have, I'm able to make decisions. Yeah, like, if I saw you throw a piece of trash on the ground, that's littering, but do I have to give you littering? No, I can say, hey, can you please pick that up? You know what I mean? Yep. Right now, Wawa, this whole area, they're trying to keep people from camping out. Wawa has to clean this place. They spend tons of money just cleaning this one strip. And
Yeah,
Does Wawa own this?
Yeah.
I work at the subway in there, so I know all about
Oh.
coming.
So they give us trespass authority, and then they ask us to come and try to help this not happen.
You got a blanket trespass on this, I guess?
So this is a trespass authorization letter. So you call,
Right.
some people call it a blanket trespass. It's basically just if we see something wrong, we're able to do the trespass. They can still remove it. So if I say, hey, you're trespassed from this, and he calls, and they say, no, we don't want you trespassed. You spend a lot of money here.
Come back.
They can
Right.
remove it.
Or if you wait a year, automatically by law gets
Nope.
overturned.
That is
So-
only for public property, and that can be 2 or 3 years.
Whenever you're done speaking
Private
to the
property, it's a lifetime ban.
When they ain't changed that law.
private property is a lifetime ban?
Private
Once you're
property, if
trespassed?
yes. So if
I thought it was
it's
expired in a year or two.
Nope.
Yeah, that's how the law used to be
That's
worded.
private, or that's public property, and that's a 2-year or 3 year. You
No
also
shit.
on public property, you are supposed to be given a written, whereas on private you do not have to.
Wait a minute. If it's public property, who has... That's something else Joel Chandler addresses, is trespass for public property.
Agents of the state are able to administer those trespasses.
That's good information, man. I'm glad you told me that.
Remember, though, for public places, there's some exceptions. You can be trespassed from a police department, but if you have business at that police department, you're still allowed to go back whether you're trespassed or not. You know what I mean? Because you can't be exempt from getting services because you caused a disturbance there and continue to, you know? So if you have actual need to go there, same as a hospital, specific doctor's offices, some doctor's offices no, but specific doctor's offices.
Hospital.
How old are you? About 26?
I'm 28. I didn't always used to be a cop. I used to be the homeless outreach guy that rode with the homeless outreach officer back when Steiner was the homeless outreach officer.
I remember Steiner. He was actually a good guy.
So,
He was nice.
yeah, I rode with him in a civilian capacity before I became a police officer.
Yeah, I tried to get on with St. Pete for civilian because my church does homeless outreach. And they got directions.
That's what I worked for.
And
I didn't like it.
listen, Direction has all my mental records. They're the reason why I got 97 flags on from the police department.
97 what?
Flags.
Flags.
He knows what I'm talking about, where you put in a
It's like
name
an
and it
alert.
flashed up and it tells you what they're known for.
Oh my God.
I'm known for being political, direct,
I believe it. Hey,
verbally resistant.
after you're done talking to him, I'd like to get an interview with you, okay?
All
Yeah,
right.
as a matter of fact, if you guys want me to go, I just ask that when Suzette comes back, you ask her to clean up anything that's
Yep.
hers and not camp out here because they're going to get on us and give us a call later if this stuff is still here.
Yeah, I know. I'll let her know.
All right, I appreciate it. You guys have
Hey,
a safe day.
on the ground, on the street here, I know who's boss. You guys are boss. Good cop, bad cop, indifferent cop. So
I know
what
they
you
just
guys
got a
say
job.
goes out here. If you would have said, get your ass out of here, I would have left. Just so
Okay.
you know.
Well, that was my goal was one to help someone.
Speaking
And
of
then
her,
secondly, once he was like, okay, let's everything's fine. Like that's when I was like, okay, well, let me educate someone about why sometimes this isn't the best idea.
Gotcha.
Because there's a lot of people, like you said, you would have been willing to walk away. There's a lot of people who would have gotten in someone's face.
and you also gotta look at it this way. Once they put that uniform on, there's a lot of people out there that look like that as a bullseye. I hate to say it, so you know, what
Sad
if
but
you're
true.
recording and a dude comes running up behind him and just squeezes the trigger? You're now a witness. Now he's got to take you out.
Well, that would be a sad state of affairs. I don't know if I want to
that
go
would be
there.
sad for him because I'm going to guarantee you I'm going to be taking him out before he takes me out.
Well, you guys have a safe day. I'm going to talk to her real quick and I'll be out.